Good morning. I want to talk about the police and Metro in Vegas and do it in a positive light, but give you my experiences with what's happened with me in the past. I'm sitting outside of my local Walmart store again, super early because my wife had a last minute event that I have to do on Sunday. Let's talk about my experience with the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department when we got broken into, and that was a bummer. So we'll talk about that. Oh, we got that early morning, late July sun. It's a bit different when you think about it. The early morning sun is so nice and warm, and then by the time 1 o'clock rolls around, you want to burst into flames. So in a couple of my videos, people were commenting and saying that they never really saw the cops out here in Vegas, which is strange because, you know, I'm standing in front of this store. You'll see the police out here in the stores in Las Vegas quite a lot. It's not unusual. And unfortunately, that's just shoplifting and things like that happens. They don't mess around here, so, you know, if you don't want to get yourself into trouble, don't shoplift in Vegas. But what about when you get broken into? And do those folks, those Metro officers, how fast do they come out, and what's the process like? Or what about if you just have to call the cops? How does it work? Everything old is new again, I guess, these days. Thank you. I figure I can't be the only one that does that with the ice trick, right? Especially when you're a professional caffeine person, which I am, unfortunately. Oh, by the way, my name is Steven and I am not leaving Las Vegas. I'm from Calgary, Canada, and I do these videos to give you another side of the city that you may not know about. If you like this video, do me a favor, click the subscribe button, hit the bell for all the notifications you can possibly handle for when I do new videos, and also like and share and leave a comment. That lets YouTube know we're worth watching. And if you really like this video and you like me, support me by buying me a coffee with the links in the description and the first comment below. Just some background here. The LVMPD, or the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, it's actually one of the largest police departments in the United States of America. It's not because Vegas is some giant, huge center of everything. I mean, there's only a few million people in the whole area. It's just because in 1973, I think it was, they combined the police forces with the sheriff out here in the county and formed a giant police force. So it's a big police force, and it encompasses everything. So if you ever have a problem and you ever have to deal with law enforcement, you'll be dealing with Metro while you're here. As a plant lover, I can't help but think about how much of a shame this was. And all the Miracle Mile had to do was water the things. Or at least try to save them. I mean, plant them somewhere else. It's a plant. It's not a piece of scenery. So a popular question is whether or not you can go down the back ways. And the answer is you can't. That's another thing about crime and things in Vegas. There are no back ways through the casinos for the most part. It's just a bunch of dead ends, as you can see right behind me here. That way the bad guys can't run away from the police, and they always catch you. So now, being that I'm from Canada, I can only base my interactions as a child with the police off of that experience. I don't know what it's like here, and I'm not going to pretend to know. However, there seems to be an us versus them mentality in Las Vegas when it comes to Metro, and especially dealing with them on the Strip. I can tell you for my experience, it's been okay, but it's been also way not okay in some cases. For example, I've had police officers tell me that I should get a real job. But then again, I've also had tourists tell me that too. But I've literally had police officers tell me that my wife was probably disappointed in me. And then again, I've had good experiences with the police where I had great conversations with them and they treated me like a human being. But this all leads into when we had to actually utilize the Metro Police Department when we were broken into. So if you watched my video where I talked about 5 things and I talked about crime, I alluded to the fact that we got broken into one day. It's a long story, but I'll cut it short. We ended up obviously calling the police because no matter how much you complain about the police, they're always the first person that you call when you're in trouble. And we called the police. They came, took them about 2 hours to get to our house. We had just had a break-in. They took fingerprints, they took serial numbers, and then they didn't take my calls. I kept calling them because we kind of had a suspicion about who might have been doing these things. We had a neighbor that had some bad elements. And no matter what I did, I wasn't able to get any of the Metro detectives to do anything to actually take action and say, okay, let's investigate that. But then there's probably a whole bunch of legal things that, you know, were at play that I don't understand. So if someone could have explained it to me, that would have been nice. But calling the police took 2 hours on Super Bowl Sunday, mind you, so I do give them that. They were probably very busy. But what about if you have to call the police and it's not an emergency? So like a lot of places, you can simply dial 311 on your phone if you actually have to talk to the cops about something that doesn't really make much of a difference in an emergency situation. You will find though that you wait on hold for a really long time. I remember I had a noise complaint. It was just ridiculous at a condo, and I was on hold for 37 minutes before I could get a person. And of course by then, the noise had stopped. So if I had more patience, I could have saved that time. But 37 minutes to get an operator on a Sunday afternoon, kind of a fail. But it is important to remember that the police in Vegas have a really tough job. You know, they deal with everybody coming in from every other part of the country, every other part of the world. We're in the Southwest United States. There's a whole bunch of shenanigans that go on in a city like Vegas. So if you're on the strip and you see a police officer, be nice. You know, unless you have something to hide, they'll treat you with respect if you treat them back with respect. And for all the complaints we have, like I mentioned, they're always the first call that we make. But I'm interested in hearing what you have to say. Have you dealt with the police yourself? Did you find it was a positive experience in Las Vegas or a negative one? Or did you wonder where the cops were the entire time that something crazy happened? Sound off in the comments below. My name is Steven. I am not leaving Las Vegas. I'm a full-time Vegas blog guy, so make sure you like, share, and subscribe to these videos, and we will definitely talk to you in another one. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.